And really, we've got a bunch of great patriotic Americans here, and your presence is really what is important when we're trying to hold government accountability. When we were founded, when all these groups started springing up 3 years ago, 3 years ago now, we were doing so because we were tired. We were tired of being dictated to about how we could exercise our rights, where we could exercise our rights, when we could exercise our rights, and who could exercise their rights.
Yep.
And so we started standing up. And in our first legislative session, because of the efforts of groups like the ones you see here and the people like that you see here, we were able to get some restrictions removed. Unfortunately, we didn't expand our gun rights any. The number of people who can carry is still limited. The ways that people can carry are still limited. You still have to beg for government permission. So the fight's not over. We're still going to do that fight. And what's really unfortunate is that when you win one battle, it seems like other battles pop up that now you've got to start fighting. We aren't here necessarily for a Second Amendment problem. The problem was about the Second Amendment. Now it's about the First Amendment. Because what happens is when a citizen files a complaint and that citizen is then sued by the very government that he's complaining against, that, my friend, is the definition of tyranny.
Yep.
That is what Texas went to war with Santa Anna over.
Yep.
That is what the United States went to war with King George III over.
Yep.
That is what those veterans in Athens, Tennessee went to war over their county for.
Yep.
So why we're here bringing our guns to fight for a First Amendment issue is quite simple. The Second Amendment is what protects all the others.
It does.
And there is a time that may come one day where we're going to get tired of just being sued by our government and run through the corrupt court system. And we're going to get tired of being stomped on and dictated to and lorded over. And eventually, and we're not anywhere close to that. Don't get me wrong, and don't think I'm calling for violence, because I'm not. The Second Amendment is a tool of last resort. But it's a tool. And it's a tool that hopefully a lot of people will exercise when that time comes. If we allow Waller County to do what Waller County is doing, if we allow this DA to get away with what this DA is doing, that is going to send a ripple effect through Texas. And other counties with anti-gun prosecutors and anti-gun commissioners and anti-gun politicians are going to say, oh, wait a minute, I can sue? Terry has filed about 76, I believe is his number, 76 of these complaints. Open Carry Texas has filed 63. We're a little behind the power curve, but that's okay. At least, I mean, we got a bunch of people filing them. I think Lone Star Gun Rights has been filing them. Some of them overlap, some of them don't. But can you imagine if Terry got sued 76 times? If I got sued 63 times? If other gun rights individuals and citizens who filed complaints got sued every time they filed a complaint, where would that send us? When a county district attorney can sue a citizen in a county court, do you think that's justice?
No.
That's not justice. So, yeah, I don't have to hold the button down. I just noticed the cool feature on this thing. My thumb was getting tired. So where did we get to this point? So a quick recap. Last year, SB 273 passed the legislature.
Yeah.
And really it didn't change much, except that for the first time there was an enforcement mechanism in the law. Because municipalities and counties and government entities have always been banned from being able to ban guns in certain places unless they were specifically exempted. But counties and cities and government entities said, whatever. That's the way it is. And they were using the power of their police force to enforce unlawful acts. So what the legislature did was they created a penalty for any government entity that violated that. And they also created a process by which you as a citizen, us as an organization, can remedy something about seeking redress. I don't know. I heard that somewhere before. Little document starts, we the people.
Article 1, Section 27, Texas Constitution.
Yeah, and Article 1, Section 27 of our state constitution. And also Article 2 of our state constitution, it says the power inherent in government belongs to you, belongs to me. It doesn't belong to district attorneys who can bully citizens through lawsuits. Let me start out, let me tell you what should have happened. This is what should have happened. Terry files his complaint. The county responds to his complaint or doesn't respond. Terry then takes that response or that complaint and takes it to the AG. The AG then contacts the county, and the county is given a certain amount of time to respond to the complaint. The county responds to the AG. The AG investigates, looks for violations of law. It takes into account our complaint. It takes into account the county's rebuttal. It takes into account photos. It takes into account evidence. After the AG decides what's going on, they issue an opinion on what it means, on whether or not those entities are violating the law. The county at that point has a choice. They can say screw you to the AG and keep doing what they're doing, or they can remedy the problem and remove the signs or remove certain offices. After that, if they don't comply, the AG can then sue the county.
Right.
All right, that's where the courts are supposed to come in. That's where the legal process is supposed to start. The legal process doesn't start, Terry files a complaint, oh, let's sue him.
No.
That's not how this works.
No.
This district attorney, Mathis, is trying to suppress your right to seek redress with your government.
Tyranny.
He is trying to instill tyranny in Waller County that you, whether you live here or not, the fact that Terry doesn't live here, and this is one of his whiny complaints, is that Terry doesn't even live here, so I'm going to teach him a lesson. Why? Because in second grade, when I bullied those first graders, I did the exact same thing.
Boo.
That's what this is about. This is second grade politics by a district attorney that seems to have a problem with pastors. I have a folded sheet of paper somewhere. Where'd that thing go? I think it was on that table. There's a folded story. If someone can bring it to me, it's loose, I think. I'll come back to that in a second. But it seems to me, based on some of the evidence that I've read and some of the study and research that I've done, is that if the DA doesn't exactly have something against the people, he definitely has something against pastors. This was from last year. This is a story. You guys remember the Sandra Bland death?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a pastor, Reverend Walter Pendleton, and he contacted the DA or the county, and all he wanted to know was what are the demographics of prosecutions in Waller County.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's all he wanted. He wanted to know what the demographics were. So Pendleton said the prosecutor responded to his public request with a string of abusive texts telling the pastor he was, quote, too stupid to understand the term selective prosecution and apparently threatening to send law enforcement after his critic.
Boo.
These are the words of the very man that is suing Terry Holcomb, Pastor Terry Holcomb, to Pastor Pendleton. Quote, my hounds ain't even started yet, dumbass. Keep talking. When I talk, people will listen. Keep talking and I will sue your ass for slander. It works both ways, doctor. Take your fake doctor ass and jump off a cliff. This is the Waller County District Attorney talking to a citizen. Let me tell you something, Mr. Mathis. When we talk, you will listen.
Yeah.
We ain't even started, dumbass. That should really piss off a lot of people.